The Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP) agreement was finalized in 2015. The deal permitted country members consisting of 12 countries, including Australia, to export more beef to Japan with special tariffs. So the issue I'd like to address today is relevant to supply and demand. Will the TPP deal increase Aussie farmers' confidence to produce more beef for Japan? As you can see on the slide, in 2015, the TPP deal initially highlighted a tariff reduction of 38.5% on the Australian beef exports, then down to 9% within 15 years. Then in 2018, under the CPTPP, Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or also known as TPP-11, Australian beef exporters will enjoy a tariff reduction of 27.5%, then it will decline to 9% within 15 years. Now, what does this mean for the Aussie farmers? The decision of the policymakers such as the TPP deal increases businesses' confidence. It conveys certainty. The farmers have new opportunities and incentives to produce more beef to export to Japan. As you can see on the slide, statistically the number has been increasing even during this challenging time. Increasing beef exports results in the need to recruit more employees, new equipment, fertilizers, and even technology to speed up the production rates. So TPP-11 deal not only increased the farmers' confidence to supply more beef for Japan, but also helps Australian economy overall. Globally, Japan has the second highest number of households earning disposable income, over $35,000 per year after the US. Consumers will continue to demand high volumes of quality imported proteins, such as Australian beef. In July 2021, this year, it was reported that beef export volumes increased by 10.4% from June. Increasing demand from Japan drove export volume increases of 14.1% and 15.2% respectively. Let's look at the deal in supply and demand curves. What shifts the supply curve to the right? One of them is business confidence. Policy as the TPP or TPP-11 boosts business confidence, in this case the Aussie farmers. Therefore, when this occurs, Aussie cattle farmers produce more beef. Consequently, as seen in the graph, the supply curve shifts to the right, so from S to S1, and initially we have PE and QE and E equilibrium, and when it shifts to the right, we have new equilibrium and new price, which is P1, Q1, and E1. What shifts the demand curve? The deal also shifts the demand curve to the right. So consumer taste and preferences moves the demand curve to the right. So the Japanese economy is strong and steady. The demand for Aussie beef has been increasing and the consumers have a higher craving for Aussie beef. This triggers the demand curve to shift to the right, as can be seen in the graph. So initially we have PE and QE and E equilibrium, and when it moves to the right, then we have P1, Q1, and new equilibrium as well, E1. High demand gives incentive to the firms in Australia to produce beef, but this also means there's a need for more new equipment and labor. Domestically, input prices might increase, therefore the beef farmers might also increase the beef prices. If this occurs in both countries, Australia and Japan, the demand curve won't shift but moves along the curve. As you can see here, to start with, initially we have PE and QE and E equilibrium, and if there is an increase in price from PE to P1, This doesn't move or shift the curve, the demand curve, to either to the left or the right, but rather it only moves along the curve unless there is a change in the consumer's taste and economy. Thank you.